I actually produce all the music for the concept, and Zebbler is a visual artist, and I feel like he's like my Raja Ram to my Simon Posford, you know? He will oftentimes be the creative director in a lot of my stuff, and he'll help me through a lot of things kind of conceptually that we're trying to do with music. And then, of course, we both come to the table, and we figure out how to turn music into something you see and experience. And we have always been about experiencing, experiential music and being there to witness it rather than to just consume it on your iPhone or something like that. We started our project, actually one of our first shows was at Berkeley, at the Science Museum. And when we started off, we were doing like kind of art gallery stuff, and we were using our Chaos and another computer to do Ableton. And over the years, how we did the show evolved, and now we do Ableton and Resolume on the same computer. I guess the simplest concept for what we're doing is I produce a track, and Zebbler produces visuals to go with that track. And what we do is we combine a lot of different ways to present those visuals. Sometimes he just makes a music video. Sometimes he takes one of my tracks and he throws it into After Effects and Premiere, makes a bunch of cool content, and a music video comes out. Other times, he'll create a bunch of little clips, and throughout my track, I queue up the little clips, and they play via Ableton, telling Resolume when to play a clip. Other times we do like mashups. We take pre-existing videos that he had from older projects or something new he's working on, and we mix it up, and then we maybe animate it using the audio input as the source or something. So we control our visuals a lot of the time with audio in, and honestly, I'm just using the mic in on my laptop here. Sometimes we modulate the video using MIDI. I actually have a Q Neo controller right here. I love these because each one of these pads is a note and an XY pad and pressure sensitive. So when I press down, you see it kind of lights up right there. I can basically, in Resolume, turn on an effect and then go up, down, and press down to control that effect. So one finger can turn on an effect and control 3 parameters with it. And the best part is that I can, put 5 fingers on there and really take control of the visuals like it was an instrument. I love that. So this is our set right now. We have 2 ways of playing. We have DJ style right here. I got channel A and channel B, and I'm going into the 900 using a USB cable. And the cool thing about doing that is that there is a digital audio converter inside of the Nexus 902 that sounds fantastic. And so essentially, it's taking the 1s and 0s down the USB, it's turning it into sound right there in the channel and sending it through these amazing volume knobs and EQs and stuff. I prefer this to Ableton. In Ableton, when you have the volume, it's just not like the same as controlling electricity. When you have EQ, like Bill pointed out, especially the EQ3, just kind of phase smears. So I am kind of a quality nerd, and even sending my music down an RCA cable to go into a mixer kind of feels like I'm not doing the mixes justice. And so I love going out high resolution directly into the DJM, and it gets on its way to the functions with full integrity, the way that I thought that it would in the studio. So we have 2 ways of playing. Basically, here's channel A and channel B. This is where I put all my tracks. And what I could do is play it like a DJ to where I'm like, let's do that track, and then this track, and then this track. Or, and this is why I've been doing a lot lately because it opens up a lot of doors. For this set tonight, I have actually put it in the sequencer. I know what you're going to think, oh, it's pre-mixed. No, these tracks are, like their play points are pre-decided, but I'm still going over to the mixer here and mixing them in by hand. So the only thing that I don't need to worry about is queuing the track at the right time. And if you think about it, a lot of the time, you want to queue it at the same time every time you do the set. So I have right here 3 channels that goes into the DJM, and then I have basically a copy of 1 or 2 that's there for mix purposes if I need to be moving around things. Oh, shoot, let's go over here. Oh. Yeah, so we have channel A and channel B and C. And then over here, the rest down are channels that are connected to an IAC driver. And that is a virtual MIDI driver that you can set up in your audio MIDI preferences. And it sends MIDI between programs that you're running at the same time. So I have an IAC driver channel set up. And as you can see, the only variation between these is the channel. I have channel 1, channel 2, and 3, and 5, and all of these are going over to Resolume to control different things. Now, I've started opening up channels because we have a lot of stuff going on. I'm controlling layers of effects, layers of videos. I mean, we have hundreds of videos in here. We might have over 1,000 videos inside this one set, if you count the smaller things and the more subtle things that we're doing. And working in the timeline, it's a really familiar place where I can go and cue things. So for instance, this is a new track called Outside the Box. It's on my Wakan release, Entrance. And it's a really new track, and we wanted to do more visuals for it that we could play with. So what you see here in this channel, for instance, is you see a MIDI note here, there, and those are being cued at different points in the track. So this first half of the drop is going to have one video. The second half of the drop has another video. And we've sequenced like several videos to be behind that. At the same time, we also got this other channel, and this is actually another layer that's going to be under those videos. So a really cool thing about working with MIDI between Ableton and Resolume is that you're orchestrating these layers and these effects that are all happening at the same time. And some effects and stuff I can access there, and a bunch of others I can do live. So every time we do a Z show, it comes out a little bit different, and we can explore it as an instrument, as a visual medium. So yeah, let me hit play on this. Let's see what happens. I hit play, and meanwhile, in Resolume, we have... Oh, let me bring it up. So I'm not going to do the output, but I'm just going to show you for now. Oh. It's down there. Oh, here we go. Ah, there we go. All right, so this is just a kind of a really cool animation of a box, and it's audio reactive right here. So as the beat is rocking on this, let's see, we got the... So these visuals are basically kind of vaguely designed for this track, and then all of the variation is done kind of live. So we go, and then I can do this. And so that's all live, and that's my fingers kind of messing with the video live. I love this because for me, what I've wanted to do more than anything is turn audiovisual into an instrument concept. I want to be Jimi Hendrix of audiovisual up there. Zebbler, if you ever see him, he's got 10-foot-long dreadlocks, and he just gets up there and he's able to use this as like this guitar that he's just wailing out on. And when it's in the zone, it is one of the coolest things that I still get goosebumps looking at the stuff that he puts together. Yeah, that's basically how it works. We are talking to Resolume with audio. We're talking to it with MIDI. The MIDI's coming from Ableton. The MIDI's coming from a controller. And some of the visuals are pre-synced. Some of them are kind of jammed with, and some are built mostly in Resolume. A lot of visuals are built in After Effects. Does anyone have any questions?
For those of us who don't know, can you just show us the preference settings on this so they can see how the IAC driver
let's check out the IAC driver real quick.
IAC, for those of you who don't know, inter-application communication. And
oh, I didn't even know that. That's great.
Yeah, we've been using it for a long time.
Yeah. So we go over to Link MIDI, and as you can see, we've worked with Spangle before, so we have a network here for the Spangletron. And then we have the Q Neo. That's my controller here. But we have an output right here, IAC driver bus 1. And you set those up in the audio MIDI preferences. It's not that hard. And once it's there, you can send MIDI between programs quite easily. Yeah.
Awesome. Anybody here have questions? Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Do you often use the actual like internal microphone on the computer to do the?
Yeah, that's what
Audio.
I'm doing now. Watch. Yeah.
And that works fine in like such a ridiculously loud setting like a nightclub.
Actually,
like
it
this?
really does, and it has to do with the sensitivity that you
Okay.
set. All of our gain knobs on all these are really low, and it's not immediately apparent that that's the right level. But then you go into a club, and oh yeah, it's still playing. Yeah. You'll see how that goes a little bit later. I mean, sometimes it's just a stupid thing like this that we do, like, let's make an animation and go into it and like, play with it live, and this is like half the video, really. This is like we jam on this. Other things are really, really meticulously created. Yeah, IAC drivers, really easy. Then it's just developing content. We have been developing this set for years. But actually, this summer we're planning for our next tour to recreate a lot of our sets. So we're going to go right back to the drawing board, redo all of the MIDI mappings, and try to make something even better for next year. Yeah.
This is just a comment, but this feels like something that could, in 2 or 5 years or now, head into AR world.
Oh yeah, I would
I
love
mean, this
to.
totally feels like it should jump off the screen and all of a sudden, it's gone, and now it's in the room.
Yeah, I would be super down to do AR someday, VR or something. The multimedia has no limits. One thing I love about this project is that we started with our Chaos, which wasn't even able to sync to Ableton. We had our own custom software for a while. So how we do it has evolved with technology. So it's not like a rock band. You need an electric guitar and a drummer for it to be rock. You just do. With this kind of medium, it's always going to be evolving with what's available. If you would have told me we're going to be doing this on one computer and every second of it's going to be sunk, that was just not possible back in even 2013.
Ben, how difficult how difficult is it to tour around with the entire rig? Like, how much work is it to?
Well, this is not my LED screen,
Right. Yeah.
but I wish it
yeah.
was. One day. Normally we tour with a thing called the Ziggurat, and that's actually vaguely the shape that you're seeing right here. It was just started as just a napkin drawing that of like wings with horns on a triangle. I just thought that was kind of cool. Zebbler has always made widescreen format videos, something I really liked about him early on. He loves HD. He's as much of a stickler for high quality content with video as I am with audio. So that's something we really get along on. But we have this 20-foot long stage that we bring on tour that has 3 projections that are rear lit with short throw projectors. And yeah, it is a hassle to take places, but we love it. It's like anyone going out to Burning Man building art cars. It is a big hassle, but then you get out there, it's like, whoa, dope. Every time it lights up, I get these goosebumps. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm glad we're doing this.
How do you set the MIDI to the effects on the specific parameters of the tracks in Resolume?
Yeah, so we have a mapping mode in here, just like with Ableton. We go up to mapping, hit edit, composition, key map, and, wrong one, MIDI map. DMX, shit. MIDI map, here we go. And yeah, you can see that these videos will trigger when, with that MIDI note. And it's like channel and note. So that's just like Ableton, anyone that's been mapping in Ableton for a while. And the other cool thing about it is, let me try to find one like this one, opacity on the composition layer. That's just my master bright and dark. And over here you got modes like absolute or what CC. Actually, another one I really like is over here we got note, and not on those, but some parameters it has piano mode. Let me try to find one actually. Here we go. Here's my effects. So we got like fragment, for instance. So this is the bypass. I'm not turning it off. I'm just like turning off the bypass. And it's in this piano mode. And what that means is that when I press down on the key, that's when the effect triggers. And as soon as I let go, that's when it's off. I really like that because in audio, I don't know if like, you guys have probably messed around with Ableton a lot before and you're like, all right, let's do a performance set. I want to have a crazy build-up. I want to have ping pong delay. I want to have bit crusher. I want to add compression. And when you twist this knob, 70 different things are going to go. And then you get to the drop and you're like, oh no, I got like 70 different things turned up. And you have to like turn them all back down, I always wanted a way to just kill all the effects instantly. And I love the Q Neo for this because it is pressure sensitive. And as soon as you take your fingers off, it's done. And you can do like, you can do with my 10 fingers, I can do 10 different effects and control 3 different parameters with them at the same time.
What are you using to program the Q Neo? How are you MIDI mapping that?
Q Neo is actually a little hard to program.
Yeah, that's why
because as soon as you press something down, it is affecting. Here, I'll affect this thing. Check it out. When I put my finger on this, the effect turns on. And when I go up on the pad, it goes up. When I go down, it goes down, left, right. So I have this really awesome, real control over it. And you see it also like fades in and out. That's the pressure sensitivity. Awesome. So in order to set that up with Q Neo, it has this mode on it where you hold down this dot, and it goes into coma mode. And basically, if you press the upper corner of a button, it sends a note. Next corner, that's pressure sensitivity. Next corner, that's Y. Next corner, that's X, And so it sets it up to where you got to really specifically do the mapping. It takes a little practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's easy.
And that mapping is going to Ableton, right? So at that point, are you?
Well, this mapping's going to Resolume, but you
Resolume.
could do the same thing in Ableton.
In Ableton, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, folks?
Well,
Dave?
I hope you guys mess around with this stuff. We haven't shown it off very much, and it is actually not that hard. You can do projection mapping in Resolume really easily. I'm not the best visual artist myself. I lean on Zebbler a lot. I can just do enough to do a Z show. But I love teaching. I'm a professor on sabbatical right now. Normally I'm out in Valencia, Spain at Berklee College of Music, Valencia campus, doing the music production, technology, and innovation master's program out there. But I'm not there right now because I'm on tour. I'm doing my sabbatical thing. I love teaching, though, because I know that even though we've worked years at this, we're still just scratching the surface. And I really want to see other people take this and say, whoa, I tried this new thing and it went crazy. And then we can share ideas and we can all be making really sick psychedelic visual bass music together. I love putting these ideas into other people's heads. I hope that you find yourself a projector. Go get a copy of Resolume with, I would recommend splitting it with friends. It's a little expensive. And messing around with this stuff because it talks to Ableton like it was an extension of the program.
Awesome. So just curious, how important for you are the collaborative processes in terms of creating this kind of content? And what kind of doors has that opened up for you, like with Zebbler and what you guys have done together?
Well, first of all, I think that collaboration in music is absolutely essential to musical development. And honestly, one of the great joys of making music for me has been working with other people. When you get into a flow state with another artist, it's almost like the sum is worth more than the parts of the whole, I really think that it's not like the magic of Z is just my music and Zebbler's visuals. It's the ideas that we inspire in one another. And when you're working with another music producer, that's one of the best kinds to work with, is one that pushes you to do better work and fills in maybe the parts that you're not so good at. Maybe they'll take over. And maybe you inspire them to work better. I think that when you collaborate with, even if you're just a guitar player playing with a drummer, it's that experience of musical interaction that can make everyone a better musician.
How much of that happens for you, like when you're out on the road? I mean, if you're out doing shows and you're meeting people, do you get into those collaborative opportunities, or do you kind of meet folks and then come back home and say, "Hey, that was so cool. Let's work on something together"?
Oh, it's just worked like a lot of friendships. You have some friends that when you see them, you just pick off right where you left off, and other times it's like you'll be in a place, so you set up a session, but you just end up hanging out or not making anything. And I try to just go with the flow of inspiration, you know, try to put yourself in front of speakers with people you admire, see if some magic happens, you know, and if it does, run with it. Yeah.
Well, I guess I could ask a few more questions here if nobody else does. Like, so how important is the DAW specifically to you in terms of your selection of DAWs to work in? So many people, like in collaborative process, will work in different DAWs. Do you see Ableton as like being kind of super important to your creative process, or are you open to all kinds of different DAWs to work in?
Well, yeah, I think the best DAW is the one that you're best at using. And I think that each one has a lot of strengths. Like I said, my favorite sound designer, Woolg, he's a Fruity Loops guy, and you know, I can't deny the stuff he's making is like I just can't make with Ableton. I don't know. And Bill, you've been rocking Bitwig lately, right? And the stuff that, I mean, I am sure that if I sat down with Bitwig for like a weekend, I might come out like, I'm a Bitwig person, you know? There's some stuff in there that is way cool. So, I think it's like just whatever you're really good at using. I think everything has its weaknesses maybe and some strengths. Like one time I was hanging out with BT, and he was using Cubase. And he showed me this one thing that almost sold me on Cubase, which is that you can set up a hotkey that does any sequence of events. So he's like, check this out. I hit this key, and it creates a return channel, puts my favorite reverb in it, pulls up my favorite preset, puts an EQ on it just by doing pop, like really quick. And I instantly got thinking about how many things do I do repetitively? Like I create a group, put a reverb, do that, like that I could create like a hotkey for, and I got really jealous over Cubase. So yeah, keep an open mind, and you know, try to actually sit down with producers that use other stuff. See what they're using. Some of my best sessions have been with producers that are using stuff I didn't know how to use, and I just got mesmerized.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, cool. Anybody else have questions tonight? Or Encanti? Yes, over there with the Ausla shirt on. Hold on, I'm going to give you the mic here.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask more about, I know you said you're not so much into the visual art side, but typically how do you create the GIFs or whatever else you program into this library?
I think that
and
this
where do
is
they come
After
from?
Effects. Yeah, I think that this here is After Effects, which is a really slow meditative process that gets great results. You almost have to be a Zen master to be really good at visuals.
I guess I was a little more curious when you started with that cube.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you could program a triangle or a hexagon or something like that. Do you know?
I wish Zebbler was here to answer that question
no.
for you, because
Okay, yeah.
I mean it's a whole different language to me, and
no
I'm not involved in the actual content creation of the visual side, other than looming over Zebbler's shoulder and being like, "That's sick. Hey, how about more of that? What? You can't do more of that?" You know, I'm like,
Sure, yeah,
and honestly, I think that's a beautiful part about our relationship as two artists, is that he sits in front of my music as a listener, and he will say, this doesn't feel right. Sometimes it's driven me crazy. He's like, why? What's wrong with it? And he's like, you know, it's just too spicy. You know, could you make it more better? And I'm just like, is it the saw wave? Is it the snare? Well, like, what is it? And you kind of have to get out of the musical speak, because he's just talking with his emotions. And it's important to speak to someone that might be speaking with their emotions, because a lot of the time we nerd out too much. A lot of the time we're just like, you know, at 60 hertz on the kick drum, maybe you want to turn it down, you know, and we're not looking at the overall picture, which is this doesn't feel right, or this could feel more like something else. And I return the favor with the visuals. I look at stuff he's doing, and I'm like, this is too busy, this is too blurry, and we have this language that's very layman between each other.
If you're an aspiring music producer and ready to evolve your sound, find out more about our San Francisco ground campus, online classes, and one-on-one mentorships at Pyramind.com.